Entire country. 215 million people. Streets empty. Businesses closed. Churches moved their services. All of them watching the same game at the same time. That's Brazil during the World Cup. Not fans, not viewers. A nation that literally stops. So while everyone spent this tournament obsessing over France, breaking down Spain, writing stories about Argentina, Brazil walked in carrying 24 years of a country's weight on their backs. This is the country that gave the world Pelé. A kid from poverty who won the World Cup at 17 years old and became the most famous athlete on the planet. The standard Brazil set was so high that every single player who puts on that yellow jersey carries his name into every game, whether they like it or not. 5 titles, the greatest player who ever lived, and 24 years of nothing. That's not a sleeping giant. That's a volcano. When Brazil plays a World Cup game, the country doesn't watch it. The country experiences it. Schools cancel class. Hospitals schedule surgeries around kickoff. The government has made game days unofficial national holidays. Streets that normally have millions of people on them go completely empty. And then, the moment that final whistle blows, 215 million people either explode into the streets celebrating or disappear into silence. There is no in-between with Brazil. So imagine what happened in 2014. Home soil, their World Cup. The whole country already planning the celebration. And then Germany put 7 goals past them in one game. 7. Players were crying on the pitch before the final whistle. The stadium, 70,000 Brazilians, went so quiet you could hear individual people sobbing. It wasn't a loss, it was a national trauma. And this is the squad that grew up watching that. While France was being called the favorite this tournament, while Spain was getting the tactical breakdowns, while Argentina was getting the legacy storylines, this group of Brazilian players has been quietly carrying 2014 on their backs for a decade. Nobody gave them the credit. Nobody put them on the poster. Volcanoes don't ask for permission. And the man they hired to light the fuse, he's never lost a final in his life. Carlo Ancelotti has won the Champions League 5 times. 5. No coach in the history of the competition has done that. Not Sir Alex Ferguson, not Pep Guardiola, not Jose Mourinho, Carlo Ancelotti. And in 2024, Brazil called him. Not to coach a club with unlimited money and a full transfer window. To coach a national team. A job where you see your players a few weeks a year. A job every elite coach avoids because you can't control everything. A job that has broken careers. Ancelotti said yes. Think about what that means. The most successful coach alive, a man who had just won the Champions League with Real Madrid, looked at this Brazilian squad and saw something worth leaving the best club in the world for. He didn't come for the money. He came because he looked at Vinicius Jr., at Endrick, at Rafinha, at Bruno Guimaraes. And he saw a group of players that nobody was fully unlocking yet. And here's what makes Ancelotti different from every coach Brazil has had in the last 2 decades. He doesn't panic. In 30 years of coaching at the highest level, the man has never, not once, been known for losing the dressing room. Players don't just respect him, they run through walls for him. Brazil didn't just hire a coach, they hired the most dangerous mind in the history of this sport. And nobody put that on the poster either. Let's talk about the actual players, because this is where it gets uncomfortable for everyone who slept on Brazil. Vinicius Jr., left winger, Real Madrid. In the last 2 seasons, he has taken apart every defense in Europe so consistently that opposing coaches have started building their entire game plan around stopping one man. And it still hasn't worked. He is fast in a way that doesn't look real on a screen. He is creative in a way that makes defenders look like they're playing a different sport. And he is playing the best soccer of his life right now, in a World Cup, wearing that yellow jersey. Then there's Endrick, 18 years old. Real Madrid paid for him before he had played a single professional minute in Brazil. Not a loan, not a trial, a full transfer. Because they watched a teenager in training and decided they couldn't afford to wait. He is the kind of player that comes around once in a generation. The kind that makes you stop whatever you're doing and just watch. Rafinha, the captain, who cried in public when he found out he made this squad because he knows exactly what this jersey means. Bruno Guimaraes, the engine of this team, who Newcastle paid over $100 million for, and Brazil gets him for free every time they call him up. And behind all of them, a bench so deep that players who would start for France, for Spain, for Argentina, don't start for Brazil. That's not a squad. That's a problem for everyone else in this tournament. Here's something the media didn't tell you. While the cameras were following France, while the headlines were going to Argentina, the coaches in this tournament were doing something very different. They were studying Brazil, not Spain, not England, Brazil. Because at this level, coaches don't prepare for the team the media picks. They prepare for the team that actually keeps them up at night. You don't build a game plan around a highlight reel. You build it around the team that can actually hurt you. And when you put Vinicius Jr. on one side, Endrick coming off the bench, Rafinha on the other, with Ancelotti deciding when to unleash all of it, that's not a team you ignore. That's a team you lose sleep over. The media gave Brazil no poster, no headline, no countdown. The other coaches knew exactly where the danger was. And now, the rest of the world is starting to figure it out too. So here's where we are. The most successful team in World Cup history, 24 years without a title, the most decorated coach alive, the most explosive winger on the planet, a teenager Real Madrid couldn't wait for, a captain who cried just making the squad, a country of 215 million people that stops, completely stops, every time that yellow jersey steps onto a pitch. And the world spent this tournament talking about everyone else. There's a reason volcanoes are quiet before they erupt. There's a reason nobody sees it coming until it's already happening. Brazil didn't come to this World Cup to be the story. They came to finish it. 5 titles, more than anyone, ever. The only question left is whether the world noticed in time.